The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
When we hear about stories coming out from you and your agency that everything is pretty good and you're doing a great job, I guess you feel like you're doing a great job, right? Is that what you're saying?
We're doing our level best in a very challenging.
What does that mean? What does that mean when a child is sitting in their own feces, can't take a shower? Come on, man. What's that about? None of us would have our children in that position. They are human beings. We are the United States of America. We are the greatest country in the world. We are the ones that can go anywhere in the world and save people. Make sure that they have diapers. Make sure that they have toothbrushes. Make sure that they're not laying around defecating in some silver paper. Come on, we're better than that.
Thank you for joining me here today, ladies and gentlemen. And that was Representative Elijah Cummings, who passed away on October 17th of this year. He was a strong-willed man, and he did a lot of things for people in the minority community, especially for his district, but not just for his district. As you can tell, any minorities, you know, his passing was so sudden that it kind of hurt. You know, he was an elder gentleman. He's been around a while, the son of sharecroppers, and he's seen it. And throughout this show, I'm going to be playing clips of him just so you can see how powerful he was. Elijah Cummings wasn't no joke, people. And now that we've lost him to time, somebody's gonna have to step up. Somebody's gonna have to step up and be that voice for minorities, because his voice is gone now. You know, we won't see Elijah Cummings till we get to the other side. Let me give you a brief history of Elijah Cummings. Elijah Eugene Cummings, January 18th, 1951, born. Passed away October 17, 2019, was an American politician and civil rights advocate who served in the United States House of Representatives for the Maryland 7th Congressional District from 1996 until his death in 2019. Now, the district includes just over half of the city of Baltimore, including most of the majority of black precincts of Baltimore County, as well as most of Howard County. He previously served in the Maryland House of Delegates. He was a member of the Democratic Party from 1996. Cummings served in the Maryland House from 1983 through 1996. That year he was elected to the U.S. House. Cummings served as a chair of the Committee of Oversight and Reform from January 2019 until his death of October that year. Now, that was just a brief synopsis. I'm gonna get diving more into his life and his education, but that was just a brief synopsis of Elijah Cummings and, you know, how powerful he was. People didn't really know of him being on the world stage until he actually entered the House of Representatives. But he was in politics for a long time, you know, fighting for civil rights and stuff like that. Now, like I said, I'm gonna be playing clips of him throughout the day as the show goes on, and I want to thank all of you for showing up this beautiful Sunday. It's kind of cool out. The temperature done dropped, and I've been off for 2 weeks. I was under the weather for the first week I was out, And then by the second week I was out, we had some charity work to do on Sunday. So, got to put in that work, got to, show my face in the community sometimes and move around and things of that nature. So I'm back. The show is still kicking, it's still live. It ain't going nowhere, people. This is privately owned. There's no multi-million-dollar conservatives or liberals back in this company. This is me. I don't be here. I'm going to give you the news, reviews, and all that good stuff. All right. Let's go into another clip of Elijah Cummings.
But I'm just saying to you, I want to first of all thank you. I know that this has been hard. I know that you face a lot. I know that you are worried about your family. But this is a part of your destiny. And hopefully, this portion of your destiny will lead to a better Michael Cohen, a better Donald Trump, a better United States of America, and a better world. And I mean that from the depths of my heart. When we're dancing with the angels, the question will be asked, in 2019, what did we do to make sure we kept our democracy intact? Did we stand on the sidelines and say nothing? 1 year ago today, on my mother's dying bed at 92 years old, former sharecropper, her last words were, "Do not let them take our votes away from us." She had fought and seen people harmed, beaten, trying to vote. Talk about inalienable rights. Voting is crucial, and I don't give a damn how you look at it. There are efforts to stop people from voting.
That was Elijah talking to one of the jailed ex-lawyers of Donald Trump. And if any of you have realized and recognized, a lot of people around this guy are going to prison. And they see what's going on. That's why a lot of them are starting to step forward. The only people that aren't stepping forward are the radicals, the ones that's diehard bigots, But all of these people aren't the diehards. They want to be outside of prison to be with their families. But a lot of these people are diehards, and they trying to preserve the wealth for the white race. I've already told you people this. Matter of fact, there's an article in the paper I'm gonna read on my next segment about a little town north of Knoxville where for Halloween 7 people dressed up as Klansmen. Yeah, they didn't get arrested because apparently because it was Halloween, they could get away with it. You can't arrest them for dressing up. And as long as they weren't intimidating anybody, which is that there is a law about people dressing up in masks and intimidating people. But as long as they're running around acting in the spirit of trick-or-treating, they got away with it. And the people don't even know who they are. Somebody know who they are. The town is small above Knoxville, and there's no more than 2,000 people live in that area, in that town. So they know who these people are, but they're not going to report who they are. And to have authentic Ku Klux Klan outfits like that, 7 of them, that means it's an organization in that area. But let me get back to Elijah Cummings, because I wanted to do this show when he first passed away. But like I said, I was under the weather, and then the following week I had to do some charity work. But we're back. The Daily Read is back. and we're here to stay. Cummings was born on January 18th, 1951 in Baltimore, the son of Ruth Elmer and Robert Cummings. His parents were sharecroppers. He was the third child of 7. When he was 11 years old, Cummings and some friends worked to integrate a segregated swimming pool in South Baltimore. Now, I heard the story on that, people. And that helping desegregate that swimming pool was what was the moment that launched his political career. And that lets you know that you never know what may launch you in the political atmosphere. This show right here could launch me. I mean, I don't want it. I don't want to be a politician. I don't want to be a representative, because I feel like I can do more talking about the issues outside of the arena than jumping in there. But there are better men and better women out there than me that can step up and run for office. But that incident where he tried to integrate a segregated swimming pool is what launched his political career as a young man. Now, Cummings graduated with honors from Baltimore City College High School in 1969. He then attended Howard University in Washington, D.C., where he served in the student government as a sophomore class president, student government treasurer, and later student government president. He became a member of the Phi Beta Kappa Society and graduated in 1973 with a bachelor's degree in political science. He was a politician through and through, but he had morals, people. He had morals, and he didn't pull no punches. He didn't, as you can tell by the clips I'm playing. He didn't play no games, and he didn't pull no punches. Cummings received 12 honorary doctoral degrees from universities across the United States, most recently an honorary doctorate of public service from the University of Maryland, College Park in 2017. For 14 years, Cummings served in the Maryland House of Delegates. His predecessor, Lena King Lee, raised funds and campaigned for him. Years later, Cummings credited her with launching his political career. In the Maryland General Assembly, he served as chairman of the Legislative Black Caucus of Maryland and was the first African American to Maryland history to be named Speaker pro tempore, the second highest position in the House of Delegates. Now, Cummings also served on several boards and commissions, both in and out of Baltimore, those including SEED, School of Maryland's Board of Directors, and the University of Maryland Law School Board of Advisors. He served on numerous Maryland boards and commissions, including the Board of Visitors to the United States Naval Academy and the Elijah Cummings Youth Program in Israel. He was an honorary member of the Baltimore Zoo Board of Trustees. He was well-rounded, people. But above all else, he had morals. The man had more. Listen to another clip. Listen to another clip of Elijah Cummings.
Only God could create a path where the son of two sharecroppers from Manning, South Carolina, could rise to represent the people of the 7th Congressional District in the Congress of the United States of America.
And we're back, people. That was just a brief. That's how passionate he was about equal rights, man, and people treating others fairly. The man was he was serious. He didn't play no games. He was serious. And we're going to be missing him very seriously in Congress. And my thing is, who's going to step up? We need somebody to step up, people. His committee assignments. He was on the Committee of Transportation and Infrastructure, That's important. He was on the Committee of Oversight and Government Reform. He was the chair of that. That is very important because, as you see, Trump is running roughshod over investigations. He was on the Select Committee of Benghazi, and he was tasked with on healthcare. He was tasked with helping on the healthcare reform. The Obamacare. He was co-founder and chairman of the Congressional Caucus on Drug Policy, Congressional Arts Caucus, which is important. A lot of us minorities have forgotten. Just because we originated in Africa, we've been here over 300 years. So this is a part of our history now. And Congressional Arts Caucus basically preserves the history of America. And he was on the after school caucuses, and that's basically helping young men and women and after school programs and things like that, and ensuring that government funds is funding these programs. And there's some brief legislation he helped pass. Cummings introduced the Presidential and Federal Records Act amendments of 2014, a bipartisan bill signed into law by then President Barack Obama on December 2014. The bill, which Cummings co-sponsored with Representative Darrell S. Issa, Republican from California, is a set of amendments to the Federal Records Act and Presidential Records Act. Among other provisions, the bill modernizes the definition of a federal record to expressly include electronic documents. He supported the Smart Savings Act, a bill that would make the default investments in the thrift savings plan an age-appropriate target date. And Cummings called the bill a common sense change and argued that the bill would enable workers to take full advantage of a diversified fund designed to yield higher patterns and higher earnings. He introduced the All Circuit Review Extension Act, a bill that would extend for 3 years the authority for federal employees who appeal a judgment of the Merit System Protection Board to file their appeal at any U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals instead of only the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. Cummings said that this program is important to extend because it allows whistleblowers to file appeals where they live rather than being limited to the Federal Circuit Court Appeals in D.C. The man was a very good advocate for equal rights and things of that nature. And now that his voice is gone, we're going to sorely miss him, people. And he was important. He was very important. And the question I put to you is, who's going to step up? We need somebody to step up. And the person that steps up doesn't necessarily have to be minority. I think it should be a minority to step up and take his place, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a minority. We need somebody that's going to step into that void that he left behind. Because when God called you home, you don't have any choice but to go. And he's been called home, people. And there was Elijah Cummings. He had a beautiful ceremony. He had a very beautiful ceremony. And a lot of presidents spoke at the ceremony, ex-presidents and first ladies and things of that nature. And it was beautiful. They sent him off properly. And that was Elijah Cummings. I'm going to get into my first segment break, and which basically is a part of the Masonic Journals. We're going to have a blue jean and blazer party on November 9th, this Saturday. So I hope Nashville, you show up. It's at Panobis. And we're going into our first commercial break.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
The Rod presents his very own Blue Jeans and Blazer Party, people. Blue Jeans and Blazer Party. Get ready, Nashville. November 9th, 2019 at 7 p.m. until. It's going to be held at Panobius, 903 Rivergate Parkway, Goodlettsville, Tennessee, 37072. Contact information is 615-440-1707 for tickets. Again, it's going to be held at Panobius, the Blue Jean and Blazers Party. Be there, be nowhere.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
And that was the Blue Jean and Blazer Party, people. And speaking of Masonic Journal, we are having a Blue Jean and Blazer Party on November 9th. And anytime any Masonic Lodge, sisters or brothers, want to contact me to give me information on your parties, your contributions to the community, or any charity work that you're doing, you can contact me at masonicjournal@gmail.com. Again, that's masonicjournal, all lowercase, @gmail.com. And you email me the pertinent information and send me flyers, posters, all the information I need to reach out and ensure that the information is lawful, and we'll post it on the show. We're going to get into the Daily Read. I haven't did local news in a while. We've been so into this Donald Trump character. And here in Middle Tennessee, we have our own problems. And the first thing I want to get into that I read in the newspaper, and this is important, people. It's important because the things that goes on in your community affects you personally. Now, the things that go on nationally affects all of us, which we need to keep our eye on the ball with that too. But right here in Tennessee reserve of federal funds is most in the nation. 732 million unspent from anti-poverty money. Now, the government gives each state anti-poverty money, and Tennessee has refused to use any of this funds for our poor. Now, this is going to mess a lot of you up. This is why I read the newspapers here at the Daily Read sometimes, because we need to know what's going on in our community. And right now, Tennessee has one of the highest poverty populations in the country. We're looking at state's child poverty level hovers about 23%. That's big, people. That's big. And when you got, I work in the concrete business, and I see housing developments being sprung up all over the place. This is for the rich, these condominiums and stuff like that. But the poverty is right there under the current. Is right there. People don't see it because so many businesses and people are moving into the area that got money. So outsiders will come here to Nashville and the surrounding area and think that Nashville is growing, Nashville has money flowing. But that's not the case with the people who are native to this area. Pennsylvania and New York has a lesser poverty scale than we do. New York has 513 million in reserved federal funds for poverty. Pennsylvania has 430 million. So why is it that Tennessee has 732 million in reserved poverty funds? These are funds that go towards our youth, the poor, the youth, food stamps and things of that nature. Why is it we are behind in spending this money? And I'm gonna break that down. I'm gonna break that down for the people that like for me to break it down to you. They don't want the minorities and the poor whites in this area to come up because they're so busy trying to cater to the wealthier people who are moving into this area, building these construction sites and these condominiums. It says Governor Bill Lee this week defended the decision to stockpile $732 million in federal anti-poverty funds reserved for families with children, saying the money will be put to use when the need are there. This is crazy. It says here, children in poverty in Tennessee is at 23%. Children in poverty in New York is at 19%. How in the world are we behind New York in children in poverty? Pennsylvania children in poverty is at 17%. How are we behind Pennsylvania? This is Pittsburgh we're talking about. Pittsburgh and New York. This is crazy. And people keep voting this guy back in office. People keep voting for these people. That's another thing I read in here. I like to do birthdays and on this date in history. Actress Roseanne Barr. This is the woman who used to be on that show Roseanne. Made that racist statement. She turned 67. Dennis Miller, the comedian, turned 66. Singer Adam Ant turned 65. Sports commentator Phil Simms is 64. Actor Dolph Lundgren, the guy who played in Rocky, he's 62. And reality show personality Kendall Jenner is 24. Reality show personality. This is rich, people. This is funny. These people are making money off of just smiling and talking crap on TV. Reality show. It's something else. On this date in history, Sunday, November 3rd, the 307th day of 2019, there are 58 days left in the year. On this date in 1839, the first Opium War between China and Britain broke out. 1911, the Chevrolet Motor Car Company was founded in Detroit. That's something. 1911. I think Ford was before this, but Chevrolet came about in 1911. The company was acquired by General Motors in 1918. 1936, President Franklin D. Roosevelt won a landslide election victory over Republican challenger Alfred "Alf" Landon. 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik into space, the second man-made satellite into orbit. On board was a dog named Laika, who was sacrificed in the experiment. Wow. Reading these newspapers is important, people. We forget they hide stuff in here. I told you on one of my previous shows that, they will hide some stuff in these newspapers because they feel like only the people who vote, only the people who really pay attention are going to look at it anyway. And they feel like you're a part of the masses that don't care. You just go about your daily life without a care in the world. Here it is. Here's the article right here. A group dressed in KKK robes wandered Jamestown streets on Halloween. This is crazy, people. This is crazy town. These people are showing their colors now that Donald Trump is in office. They coming out the woodworks. Just like you turn over a piece of old wood and see this, that you didn't see any termites, and they all there. You know, they just running around everywhere. It says here, a group of people dressed in Ku Klux Klan members in Jamestown on Halloween night and roamed around town sparking outrage and alarm. This is a town of 2,000 people. This is 90 miles north of Knoxville. Okay? And we all know Nathan Bedford Forrest, as I talked about in one of my previous shows, was one of the founding members of the Klan. So Tennessee has a history with these people. So a town of 2,000 people, you mean to tell me don't nobody know in this little small town who these people are? This is crazy. One photo shows 7 people in Klan robes and hoods standing at the outside dining area of a Sonic. Their outfits include KKK insignia. Now think about that, people. These KKK insignia means that these are authentic Klan's outfits. Another photo shows the group walking towards a Little Caesars pizza restaurant. A third shows the group outside of a garage. And then there's a 13-second video posted to YouTube of an account with no other uploads. So these people intentionally uploaded this video. Eric Patton, a self-described LGBTQ and civil rights activist, grew up in Jamestown before moving to Nashville. In a Facebook post Friday, he shared images of the group in KKK robes and wrote he was disappointed and ashamed of these people. 9 times out of 10, there are good people there in the town. Patton said of his hometown in an interview with the Knox News, "There are wonderful humans who absolutely want what's best for the town, what's best for each other, and love each other deeply and use their faith as a weapon for good to bring people together." And then this same night, he said, "It's not who they are. It's not representative of the entire place." Now, I disagree with him. He might be, gay. He might be a homosexual. He might have come from that area. But I'm going to tell you, people, a town of 3,000 or 2,000 people, rather. And then you have 7 authentic Klansmen outfits draped on these people walking around. There's a Klan problem there. By him being a homosexual, he might not have been around that. But trust me, people he know who these people are. A town that small. I've lived in small town America. Everybody knows everybody. So I'm sorry, I have to disagree with what he's talking about. Something that's this is not something that's secret when in a town that small. So I disagree with him on that. 19 arrested in Italy in heroin ring. That stuff is everywhere. On my third segment, we're going to interview Brother Porter. We haven't gotten to the sports in a couple of weeks, so we're going to give him a call and get down to the sports. Again, there's a pattern of racism going on in this country. It says here, racist graffiti roused Iowa State campus. In Ames, Iowa, finding neo-Nazi writings on Iowa State University's campus was the last straw Wednesday for local protest organizers. Like I said, these people are coming out the woodworks. Donald Trump done stirred the hornet's nest. He done stirred them up. And like I told you, you got to be careful, because if they impeach him or he loses this election, be prepared. Watch yourself. Watch yourself, people, because it can go down at any moment. You might be sitting somewhere and a white man or a white woman approach you with some racist hatred. Defend yourself. Now, words don't hurt you, but if you see them trying to commit to violence, defend yourself. This is funny. In the USA Today, the GOP demands to be given impeachment transcripts. Representative Lynn Cheney of Wyoming says Democrats are trying to conduct a partisan effort to impeach the president in secret. That's a lie. That's a lie. The Republicans already have access to this information if they wanted it. In other news, author Ta-Nehisi Coates to speak in Nashville. Ta-Nehisi Coates. He's going to be at the Tennessee Performing Arts Center. $37.50 for a copy of his book and tickets. That's too much. I know he's a famous author now. He's worked on a couple of movies that have been turned into books and things. I mean, books have been turned into movies, but $37.50. That's too much. I understand they got to make money, but that's too much, people. Like I was saying, on this next segment, I'm gonna go into we're gonna call Brother Porter and get the news update, because the Nationals won. I know he got a lot to say about that. The Nationals won the World Series, so I know he's gonna talk crap about that. Hemp processors are keeping up with Tennessee growers. Shortages, lack of rules cause concern. Fantastic. Hemp farms are located in Tennessee. This is a good thing. This is something that's coming close to deregulating it to the point where it's legal. And marijuana to me is I don't mess with it, but if you want to smoke it. Because see, there's a history of alcohol in this country that goes back to Prohibition. And during the Prohibition days, there's a lot of Christian faith people who didn't like alcohol. So they tried to ban it. They used to call them speakeasies, where people used to go and drink and then turn around and go to church on Sunday. But they kept a little ball in their pocket. And when it became legal, it made a lot of people millionaires. Now, the people it made millionaires were Italians and Jews, because the Italians and Jews were the ones who owned most of the speakeasies. Now, today, you have a lot of the minorities in this country that run the marijuana, the Mexicans and blacks. So if they legalize it, you're going to see a lot of black and Mexican or Hispanic millionaires and billionaires pop up overnight. But I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to regulate it to the fact that, you're going to have to jump over so many hurdles just to break into the hemp and marijuana business. You got to have a farm, a legitimate farm. You got to have inspectors come out and check your plants and things of that nature to make sure a certain percentage of THC is in it. So it's going to be a lot of problems and confusions with uh, how they trying to do the regulation on the marijuana, but I hope they do make it legal. Now, making it legal doesn't mean a person has to hire you. You see, that's the kicker right there. That's the reason why I don't mess with it, because even though I feel like it should be legal, you know, you can't go to work drunk. So why should you be able to go to work high? See, that's the problem I have with it. You know, if you want to get high, get high. But, you know, just like if you want to have you a drink, go get you a drink. But you shouldn't show up to work smelling like marijuana, because that's dangerous. I drive trucks for a living. And I have trained individuals who have been in the truck with me who were high. One guy flipped the truck over, and I was in it. And he could have killed me in there. And then when they took him down there to get a piss test, he took off running. And this is facts, people. This ain't nothing that's I'm making up. This is facts. Right there in Mount Juliet, the man flipped the truck over on me. I was training him. Come to find out he was high. So, you know, legalize it, but because it's a lot of revenue that we as Americans can make off of it. But once you legalize it, that doesn't mean that just because it's legal that you're going to have to force somebody to hire you. You know, because they still going to have regulations on taking piss tests before you can get a job. So now you got to make a choice. Do you want to stay high, or do you want to get you something decent, some place to live decent? You know, get you a decent job. I'm finna get into this third commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna have a talk with our brother Porter about the sports. This is the Daily Read, and I'm your host, Marcus Gentry.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
The Rod presents his very own Blue Jeans and Blazer Party, people. Blue Jeans and Blazer Party. Get ready, Nashville. November 9th, 2019 at 7 p.m. until. It's going to be held at Panobius, 903 Rivergate Parkway, Goodlettsville, Tennessee, 37072. Contact information is 615-440-1707 for tickets. Again, it's going to be held at Panobius, the Blue Jean and Blazers Party. Be there, be nowhere.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, people, we're back, and this is the Daily Read, and I'm your host, Marcus Gentry. And we have the sports call with Brother Porter. I have Brother Porter on the line. How you doing, Brother Porter?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Brother Gentry?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What you got today lined up for the sports?
Man, my big thing is with this boxing, man. Hey, Canelo done won his 11th victory, man. It's pretty evident that he's gonna run that weight class, man. He's making a name for himself strongly, man. But the biggest thing though is Evander Holyfield's son, and on the same fight card at his first fight. His name Evan Holyfield. He won his first heavyweight fight in 16 seconds in the first round. Knocked the dude out, right?
Right.
Okay, big upset. Everybody knew it was going to happen. You had Georgia beat Florida. I'm going to skip around a little bit today because there's a lot of stuff that's out there on the table, and I'm going to try to hit it around, though. But the biggest shakeup is how could you turn down $100 million contract in 4 years, and you're the MVP of baseball?
Wow. Who did that?
Strasburg, he was an MLB World Series pitcher for the Washington Nationals this year.
Mm-hmm.
He was on $160 million contract, right, for 7 years.
Uh-huh.
So he's already collected $60 million off of the people, off the team. But he turned down the rest to make him a free agent this year, which is amazing. I want to know how much money he's looking at to make, just to get to that point, right?
Right.
Also, he had another key notable player, Zimmerman, which is one of they left fielders. He turned down $18 million contract. He wanted to be a free agent. I just wish I could get one of these salaries for 1 year,
That's right.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big that the money's going on.
Well, you
got to give it out to Kenya again, because they won one of they fastest leg guys, which Kenya always wins every year, the New York City Marathon. He came in a astounding first place.
Okay.
And you got to really give a shout out to the New York Police Department, man, because they've been receiving all kind of threats from ISIS throughout this whole New York City Marathon because of the raid that we had from
with Donald Trump.
Donald Trump
right.
Week,
Well,
which is really, really huge, right?
Right, it is, because they've been wanting to hit New York big for a long time anyway, but Donald Trump done stirred the hornet's nest over there. It's a good thing they got him, though. It's a good thing they got him.
Right. Then he had some good old UFC action. Masvidal beat Diaz, tore his eye out. His eye was all rearranged.
Oh, wow.
Big miss for that, And then the biggest thing and concern is that I need to get into horse racing, man. I need to find out what's going on with horse racing.
Okay.
Because for some reason, Santa Anita Valley is in California, and that's the biggest place for these horses. They have died, and 37 of them have died in the past year.
Wow.
37 of them. One of them had to get euthanized last night because he broke his left leg. I don't know I don't know much about horses that when they get an injury so bad and so devastating, that's simple to us as a broke leg. Why they have to kill them? I don't understand. But this one place is being deemed as the horse killing capital of the world, man.
Wow.
It's something serious. We need to find out what's going on with that, man.
Well, them horses, man, they still can be bred. If they winners, even though they break their leg and they can't compete anymore, their bloodline is still good enough to be bred. So I wonder why they're killing them also.
Yeah, it's something, man. It's really, really something to see that if these horses, like this horse's name was Mongolian Groom. How the heck this horse became, that bad that after winning 3 times the millions of dollars that this horse has done made, how could he go down and they have to kill him? I don't understand the practices of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's something I got to really look into, man, because that's just amazing. This horse is worth millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
Man.
His bloodline, his bloodline is worth that. His bloodline is worth probably more than that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's really huge, man. It's really, really huge.
It could be a virus that they scared that the other population won't get, and they just not putting it out there on the news. Because sometimes these animals that's in captivity, man, they get these viruses and stuff that goes on with them, and they don't want it to spread, so they put them down. But ain't no telling what's going on with that, man. Because because I know Kentucky.
So I got to finish up before you get me back to my politics.
Okay.
I'm listening to politics today, but it's kind of amazing that my picks been coming out perfect. I got the Titans over the Panthers. The Jets gonna beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins ain't gonna win a game this season.
Okay.
Seattle gonna beat the Bucs. The Vikings, I say they're gonna come back and beat the Chiefs. They losing right now. I just happened to catch that. I know they losing right now. And then I'm definitely going with the Eagles over the Bears. But my boys, we got Breeze back. We taking the week off. You know what I mean?
Right.
We could have stayed out one more game, but it's all right. We come back in, we win with them and win without them. But them Cowboys gonna definitely fall off tomorrow. They definitely gonna fall off tomorrow. I'm picking the Giants to trump them.
Well, you know my Bears, man. They always disappoint me, man. I love the Bears, and but they always they get so close, man. They always disappoint me, man. But you know, they'll get themselves together one of these days. And as far as the Cowboys go, I know Brother Tuck, he ain't gonna like that.
He ain't gonna like it.
Right. He ain't gonna like that prediction. But
Yeah, he ain't gonna like it. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing how much talent they got. I mean, even it's kind of tough right now, especially the NBA. I didn't do too much speak on that. You know what I mean? Because it's we in our seventh game of the season. You know, everybody's about at least played 6 or 7 games now. So ain't nobody really making a name for themselves yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
Except for Dwight Howard. I will say Dwight Howard has definitely went back to the old Bill Laimbeer. They got him on the team just so he can hack people. And
Okay.
every game he sends somebody to the hospital. You know, if something got to be done about it, because these kids can't play in that kind of league from back then. The Detroit Bad Boys, he done brought them back.
right. Well, you know, Howard, man, he's not a young boy no more, man. He's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been around for a minute, man, and it might be time for him to hang up his shoes.
Shoot, he already did hang them up, but then he came out of retirement just to help out LeBron James try to win another ring, but I don't think it's going to happen because you got the 76ers. They the only undefeated team right now.
Okay.
They playing good, and talent is spread everywhere, man, in the league this year.
Okay.
I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna watch that, analyze that a little bit before I start making my picks. Though I'm always gonna definitely be a Bulls fan. You know, today I die because I'm from Chicago, so I'm always gonna be a Bulls fan.
Of course. You know, we guys from Chicago, man. We always gonna support the Bulls and the Bears. Yeah, you already know. But you know, the UFC fight you was talking about. Did you hear about them booing? They had a small crowd that was cheering Trump, but they had a bigger crowd that was booing him, and I think he probably paid. You know, he probably paid them people to cheer for him. You know, because that's what he do at his rallies. He pay people to come in there. You know, to cheer for him and stuff.
He was on there. I'll tell you something I've seen funny too. You know, on Halloween, you know, they select a group of kids from the schools to come to the White House and get candy and stuff from Trump, right?
Right.
So I've seen all these kids. These kids was toilet paper and Donald Trump. And these kids was doing Donald Trump in, man, bust the egg on them. You know, squirted with the silly string in his face. I mean, it was amazing that these kids is doing that, man. I wonder what kind of lessons they getting at home.
Yeah, man. You know, I did a little local news today because we've been focused on national politics, and there was a story in north of Knoxville. It's a little small town called Jamestown. It has about 2,000 people. I don't know if you read it in the paper, but they had 7 people dress up as Klansmen. These were authentic Klan outfits with the Klan logo on it and everything. And they were walking around for Halloween, and the police couldn't do anything about it because as long as they wasn't intimidating anybody, it was Halloween, so they could legally have the masks and robes on. And the law states that as long as you're masked for Halloween, well, as long as you're not intimidating anybody.
So how could you wear that type of stuff and not be intimidating anybody?
Exactly. So and
that image alone don't sit well with me. If I see somebody dressed in a Klansman attitude, I might be going to jail. I might be going to jail. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right,
you know,
right.
That's intimidating me already just saying it. You know what I mean?
That's right. I did a brief synopsis on Elijah Cummings' life. You know, he passed away. He was a very good advocate for minorities, and now that he's gone, he passed away so suddenly, man, that now, you know, it's a void because and somebody's gonna have to fill them shoes, man, and Barack Obama, he can't be president again, and he's not going to get back into politics. So he's going out of Congress, and now Elijah Cummings done died. So somebody got to step up, and
Yeah.
when you review the first of the show, I did a brief history on his life, man, because I wanted to do it 2 weeks ago. We've been off the air 2 weeks. We've been doing charity work and a few things been going on personally, but
That's right.
we back though. We back. We're gonna keep doing the show. How many more games we got for the Titans home?
We should have like about 3 or 4 more home games.
Okay.
Unless they make playoffs.
Okay. What I'll do is, if we have a home game Sunday that we have to go to work at, I'll probably do my show Saturday. You know what I'm saying?
Works.
That way we can keep everything fluent. And then once the season is over with, as far as the home games go, we'll go back to Sundays at 12. And then I'm gonna open the phone lines up. I have a phone line put in here, and I'm gonna get me a good phone system. That way I can start taking people calling in on the show. So I want you to be on the lookout for that, man. And tell all your partners and all your friends, man, that they can call in, and we're gonna do some topics. And
That's right.
that way I can get some input from the community.
Some of this old barbershop conversations that we need to be having.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's how you get things moving. You got to go back to the barbershop days and sit down and have a conversation, like grown, civilized folks, and maybe we can come up with some stuff that, kind of fall into place with, like you said, Brother Cummings passing away. I feel like we're losing all the black voices, for one thing, for sure.
That's right.
People in politics that long, it's a major hit, man. And with the way that these kids are coming out today, man, I don't know if we'll ever recover from this political situation, man, because, we're going to miss a generation, man.
Yeah, that's right. They're more interested in social things.
That's right.
I listen to videos. I play, Xbox and PlayStation. I got a following on Xbox. A lot of the gamers on there, they want me to do a game podcast on some of the new games that's coming out. But I told them also on live that, I usually do my podcast on news and national events. Now, as far as the game podcast go, if I do a gaming podcast, it'll probably be separate from this show. So I got a pretty good following on Xbox Live. They want me to do something pertaining to games and new game releases. But they're more interested in that. And I think that's another route into the youth too. Speaking to them through things that they like. Because I have 20-something-year-olds that didn't even know I had a show, and when I talk to them on Xbox Live while we in a mission or something like that, I let them know, hey man, check out my show, and they're amazed, man, and I got a pretty good following from that too. So I might find other avenues to get at the youth, man, and try to pull them in to get them an understanding that even though we can have our fun, it's serious out here.
It is, man. It is, and we're losing them in volumes, man. I want to find some way to tap in stopping that. That's the big thing, man. Is that if we don't rebuild with our youth, man, it's over with, man. I mean, it really, really is. I mean, as things as we've known it to be, they ain't that way, man. And this poverty situation, man, is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Every day, man.
Oh yeah, I just matter of fact, now that you spoke on that, I just had a article in the newspaper that I read earlier about. Let me read it to you real quick. I want your input on this. We got about 5 more minutes before the show ends, but I want to get your input real quick. It says Tennessee reserve of federal funds is most in the nation. Tennessee has sat on $732 million unspent from anti-poverty money. Now, this money is for the youth that's in poverty in Tennessee. Children in poverty in Tennessee is at 23%. Children in poverty in New York is at 19%. Children in poverty in Pennsylvania is at 17%. So how in the world Tennessee is at 23% in children in poverty? This is crazy. And they sitting on 732 million in funds from the government for food stamps and things of that nature. You know, this is crazy. And they study building these condominiums.
Where's the money really at? So that's what we really need to know. Where is that money really at? Because I've seen some here locally, you know, that really is changing my view on how they're handling this money. This is like this bridge that they're going to build. You come across Sobro Bridge, okay, connect folks with downtown Nashville. You know what I mean? Across them railroad tracks. That was something that we already said we were going to do. Right. You know? But now the new powers that be come in and say, hey, scratch that idea, let's go with this, and it's something totally different. So with the kids here, you know, the kids here is what's hurting the most from this deal, because if they not doing anything with this money that physically help these kids reach a different level, it's somebody's lining their own pocket.
That's
Somebody's
right.
Getting rich.
That's right. Well, see, I got my thoughts on that is, I'm in the concrete, so I see the buildings and the condominiums that are springing up in Nashville. So my thoughts on that is, they're not worried about the poverty. They're trying to push them out anyway. So why should they keep giving them money to help keep them afloat? They're bringing in people from different areas of the United States into Nashville that's buying these condominiums, and they're steadily building these buildings, but they're not worried about the youth and the poverty that's already here. So that's what I'm thinking happening. They're trying to regentrify, you know, this whole situation in Nashville. They don't want the poverty here anyway. So why should they give out this money? That's my thoughts on it, how they're playing this.
They're going to do something for them and forget the people that really need it.
Right.
You can't get rid of the poor people, because when the rich people get richer, it's somebody else getting poorer. The poor, you create poor on top of poor. So you can't get rid of them.
No, you can't.
The best thing to do is to find a program in place that helps them legitimately, not like the project system, you know, the housing authority. I think that's a big waste of money too, because they're not giving the person a reason to push forward to do something, and they let them be complacent in the impoverished situations that they're in. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's a big hurtful, you know, continual generational curses that they passing out, right? And we allow it, and we're not fighting for the difference, and that's what's getting us, brother. Well,
I want to thank you, Brother Porter, for your input, man, and for the sports call, man. I'm about to end the show, and I'll see you next. There's a home game next Sunday?
Yeah, we got a home game next Sunday, but I should have seen Tuesday night before that.
Right. That's right. Well, I'll try to set up a show Saturday after I get off work Saturday, and we'll probably do a quick show Saturday, and that way I'll be able to come down to the. No, we can't do it Saturday because the Blue Jean and Blazer party is Saturday. So
yeah,
we'll get something together. We'll put something. Yeah, we'll work something out. And I want to thank you, brother, and travel light.
Travel light, bro.
And this concludes the Daily Read, people. And we're going to set something up for next weekend. The Blue Jean and Blazer party is Saturday. And then I have to work a Titans game Sunday for charity work. So hopefully Thursday or sometime early Friday, I'll go ahead and do a show to keep you in tune with what's going on. Thank you.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Bringing the business.